used to these climates and to these environments strive to earn not only a living but a space in society and make enormous sacrifices to send the remittances back home. I think that whenever we have these nice meetings in 5-star hotels, there's always a risk of sterilizing the human factor that it is for me so impressive when we're speaking of remittances. Don't forget for one step of the way the sacrifices, personal sacrifices, the sufferance that it is involved in sending remittances back home, and to which extent those remittances, unfortunately with other problems that we know of here, unfortunately sometimes losing money rather than using it for the best, what these remittances bring to the dear ones of those who endure such sacrifices back in our countries. So let's not be carried away too much about the fantastic weather and wonderful environment that we have the privilege to enjoy here, in forgetting the cold, damp, grey where the remittances come from. This is very important. And for the European Union, remittances are indeed a very important aspect of what we support in terms of developmental potential of migration, which, as you know, has become a key factor in European Union political life at the moment, because of the increasing waves of desperate people fleeing conflicts, because indeed there's quite a bit of economic migration, but most of the migrants that have tried to reach Europe over the last couple of years flee some unbelievable suffering, like the one in Syria and Afghanistan and other places of conflict, Somalia. So this is for the European Union indeed within the general approach of trying to cope with this tsunami wave of migrants that we are trying to cope with in a decent way, although it's not a phenomenon that is so easy to address. The remittances are still a key aspect. In 2015 alone, the African continent received an impressive $65 billion in remittances, 23 billion of which was sent by migrants residing in Europe. And we know a large part of that is also south-south and intra-regional flows. Here in Kenya, for example, remittances increased last year to $1.6 billion, over 3% of GDP, as Mr. Olu was mentioning before me, providing foreign currency inflows crucial to the country's economic growth and stability. We know remittances are vitally important for households in receiving countries, allowing families to meet basic needs, opening up opportunities for education and livelihoods, and for the receiving country governments themselves. In many countries, remittances by far exceed development aid, and they tend to be more stable than other capital flows. The European Union is strongly committed to enhance the developmental potential of migration and ensure that remittances continue to be a factor of prosperity. In June 2010, the ACP-EU Council adopted a joint declaration on migration and development, in which the parties committed to strengthening and deepening their dialogue and cooperation in the area of migration. The ACP-EU dialogue has since then underlined the potential of remittances as a driver for socio-economic development in countries of origin, and set recommendation to government, private sector and civil society to maximize the impact of remittances. This is the framework for today's meeting. In practical terms, the EU has undertaken a number of remittance-related initiatives over the past 10 years. We have supported the establishment of the African Institute of Remittances, which is co-hosting this event today. We support the African Postal Financial Service Initiative so that populations in rural areas can have access to remittances services via their local post office, and promote the use of mobile phones to transfer remittances. We have also been contributing to the multi-donor financing facility for remittances since 2006, with the aim of increasing the offer of official, cheap and safe financial products for the migrants. In the past 2 years in particular, the European Union has significantly stepped up its efforts in relation to migration, including with our support to diaspora and remittances, with the launch of the 2015 European Agenda on Migration, and in line with the global agenda. The recently approved Sustainable Development Goals include reducing the cost of remittances, and in the Valletta Summit Action Plan concluded between the European Union and African partners in November last year, the EU reiterated its commitment to lowering the average cost of sending remittances to 3% and eliminate corridors where costs are above 5% by latest 2030. This is a crucial part of our partnership with ACP countries and an important aspect of our cooperation. Africa is the region where some of the highest cost corridors for remittances in the world are located. An average cost of 9.5% compared to the global average of 7.4%. Recent evolutions have shown the use of new technologies can have a very beneficial role for both lowering the cost of remittances and promote financial inclusion of those who need it the most. The development of mobile money transactions across borders in East Africa, for example, has improved due to the collaborative arrangements among telecom operators and money transfers operators in Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda. And this is, as you know, the region and actually the country where mobile phone transfers are being invented. These deals are likely to lower remittances costs and make services more efficient and viable. The use of technologies such as mobile payments is therefore on the rise, but it requires additional investments. We have still some way to go to ensure that remittances maximize their development potential. Remittances and diaspora investments are a powerful driver for development creation of employment opportunities, and entrepreneurship. To do this, we need to continue to seek to adopt a creative and innovative approach. This kind of meeting is an excellent opportunity to work towards such an aim. More generally, the ACP-EU dialogue on migration and development provides an excellent framework to exchange on good practices and lessons learned on key topics such as new technologies, financial inclusion, and diaspora investment. That is why I wish you an extremely fruitful meeting. I look forward to read your final report. Thank you very much.